You've felt it, haven't you? That pull in your chest when his name crosses your mind. That ache that isn't just longing, it's recognition. The kind that doesn't belong to this lifetime alone. You weren't placed on the same path by accident. You were woven together by something older than time, deeper than choice. The angels say, you are not just another woman in his story. You are the mirror of his soul. The one who reflects what he never dared to see. And though he may walk away, hesitate, or even forget, his spirit remembers. It trembles in your presence. There is a divine blueprint behind your connection. One that neither of you fully understands yet. But the heavens do. Every glance, every silence, every moment where words almost spilled but didn't. All sacred steps in a spiritual mission neither of you chose, but both are living. He feels it too. Even if he hides it. Especially when he hides it. There are nights when he lies awake and questions everything, not because he doubts you, but because he doubts himself. And in those moments, the angels surround him, whispering truths he's not ready to hear out loud. This is not just love. This is legacy. A bond meant to heal generations before you and bless those yet to come. You carry the light he needs to remember how to shine again. And he holds the key to a part of your soul that has been locked away, waiting for the right vibration to open. Do not dismiss the weight of your presence in his life. You are divinely timed, precisely positioned. And whether he chooses to move toward you now or years from today, know this, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. He wants to reach for you, but his hands are tied by ghosts he refuses to name. You feel the distance, don't you? That invisible wall built from years of disappointment, betrayal, and wounds that never fully healed. He doesn't reject you, he recoils from something inside himself. The angels say, every time he pulls away, it's not you he's running from. It's the echo of a voice from long ago. A rejection that carved lines into his soul before he ever met you. And now when love gets too close, those old scars tighten like chains. You see, he carries more than just his own pain. He walks with inherited fears, stories of abandonment passed down through generations. Every time someone got too close before you, he learned that love equals risk. And now, standing near you, where everything feels too deep, too real, he trembles. But here's what they don't tell you about walls. They were never meant to keep others out. They were built to protect something fragile inside. And behind all that silence, there is a heart trying to heal without hurting again. You've tried to reassure him, to hold space, to be patient. But even your light can't rush shadows that have lived in him for decades. Healing isn't linear. It's messy, it's painful, and it often looks like rejection when it's really just fear. So don't take it personally when he disappears. Don't let your worth shrink because he's still learning how to stay. This isn't about you being enough. It's about him remembering he is. The angels whisper, give yourself permission to breathe. Let him walk his path while you walk yours. The only way he'll ever break free from his past is if he chooses to face it. And until then, love yourself fiercely, not as punishment for his delay, but as proof of your strength. You keep giving pieces of yourself, even when he's not around to receive them. You hold space for his healing while quietly neglecting your own. And in that silent sacrifice, something within you begins to fade. The angels see it. They feel the weight you carry, the unspoken burden of loving someone who isn't always there. But listen closely. You were never meant to be a lifeline at the cost of your own breath. Your light was not given to you so you could pour it endlessly into another without tending to its flame. You are not less loving if you take a break. You are not selfish if you say no. What you may call weakness is actually wisdom, the soul's way of reminding you that you matter too. The angels say, every time you forget yourself in service to another, you create emptiness where peace should be. And from that emptiness, resentment grows, quiet and hidden but powerful enough to erode even the strongest connection. You deserve rest. You deserve joy that isn't conditional on someone else's return. You deserve moments where your heart beats freely, untethered from expectation or longing. So let go of the idea that you must always be available, emotionally open, or spiritually accessible. Healing flows best when both hearts are willing to meet in the middle. If he's not there yet, that doesn't mean you must wait in stillness forever. You are a woman of depth, power, and divine purpose. And as much as you are here to support his journey, you must also honor your own. Because your worth is not measured by how much you give, it's revealed in how deeply you love yourself when no one else is watching. Let this be your sacred reminder. The more whole you become, the more love you can truly offer. Not just to him, but to everyone who walks beside you. You didn't just enter his life, you disrupted it. Not with chaos, but with clarity. The kind that stirs the soul awake and forces him to see what he's ignored for years. You are not just a woman to him. You are a reflection of who he could be if only he dared to believe in himself the way he believes in you. The angels say, your presence is a mirror, and what he sees in you terrifies him more than it comforts him. Because when he looks at you, he doesn't just see love, he sees truth. He sees the version of himself that he buried beneath pain, compromise, and fear. And that version feels unfamiliar, even dangerous. That's why he sometimes avoids your gaze. Why he walks away when he should stay. Not because he doesn't want you, but because he's afraid of what he must face if he lets you in completely. Your light doesn't blind him, it exposes the shadows he's been hiding from. He thought he could keep things simple, casual, safe. But you brought something deeper than he was ready for. And now, every time he tries to go back to who he was before you, something inside resists. That ache in his chest when he hears your name? That's not regret. It's recognition. The mirror remains, whether he wants to look or not. And one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, he will stop running from what he sees. Until then, know this, you were never meant to fix him. Only to reflect what was already there, waiting to heal. Let that be enough. Let that be everything. Something inside him is shifting. Slowly, like the first light of dawn breaking through a night that felt endless. You may not see it yet, not in his words, not in his actions, but you feel it. That subtle change in energy, in tone, in the way he looks at you when he thinks you're not watching. The angels say, he is remembering. Not all at once, but in fragments. A flash of your smile in the quiet hours before sleep. The sound of your voice echoing in memories he thought he had buried. The warmth of your presence that still lingers even in absence. These are not just thoughts passing through his mind. They are awakenings. Small cracks opening in the walls he built around his heart. You were never meant to chase him. You were meant to be the spark that reignites something deeper than desire, something sacred. And now, whether he wants to admit it or not, his soul is stirring. It stirs when he hears your name, when he sees your message, when he passes a place that reminds him of you. These moments aren't coincidence. They are divine nudges. He doesn't have the words for what he's feeling yet. How could he? He's been asleep for so long, and waking up is disorienting. But the signs are there. The way he hesitates before walking away. The way he watches you when you speak. The silence between his words, filled with everything he can't say out loud. This is the beginning of his return. Not to you, not yet, but to himself. And once he finds his way back to who he truly is, he will see you again, not as someone he almost had, but as the one he was always meant to hold. He comes back like the tide, drawn to you by something stronger than his fear, yet pulled away again by the undertow of his own uncertainty. You feel it every time he disappears. That familiar ache, the question in your chest. Asterisk, was it real? Did he mean it this time? Asterisk, but love doesn't always arrive in straight lines. Sometimes it circles, retreats, and returns again, not to hurt you, but to teach both of you how to stay. The angels say, do not confuse movement with meaninglessness. When he takes a step back, he's not rejecting you. He's struggling with parts of himself that still don't believe they deserve you. So he tests the space between you, as if trying to prove that even distance won't erase what he feels. This is not a game. This is a rhythm born from old wounds. He desires closeness, but when it becomes too intense, something inside him panics. A voice whispers that he isn't enough, that he will eventually lose you, so why get too close now? Thus he leaves, not because he doesn't want you, but because he fears needing you more than he thinks he can give. You are not failing him. You are simply standing in your truth while he seeks his. The cycle isn't a punishment, it's a process. Healing rarely follows a straight path. Often, it stumbles. It turns back. It doubts. Then slowly, it learns to move forward without looking back. So let him circle. Let him come and go as his heart grapples with what it knows. Your job is not to chase, not to fix, not to force. Your job is to remain grounded in your own light, fully aware that the closer he gets to you, the more he will need to heal to stay. And one day, he will stop circling. One day, he will step into your orbit and stay. Not because you summoned him, but because he finally listened to the voice within that never stopped whispering your name. Even in silence, your love is healing him. Not through grand gestures or spoken vows, but with the quiet strength of your presence. A vibration that reaches the places he never thought could feel whole again. You may not see it, but his soul is softer because of you. The sharp edges of his past no longer cut as deeply now that they've been touched by your light. The angels say, every time you chose peace over panic, grace over guilt, stillness over chase, you sent ripples through his heart. He didn't always respond in the way you hoped. But that doesn't mean he wasn't changed. Healing doesn't always communicate in words. Sometimes it moves in pauses, in glances, in the space between breaths when something sacred shifts within. You were never just another woman in his life. You were the balm on wounds he never knew how to name. And even if he walks away, parts of him will carry your energy forever. The way he sees himself differently now, the way he speaks with more kindness, the way he hesitates before hurting someone else in the way he once hurt you. That is your love's legacy. He may not have the courage to stay right now, but that doesn't mean he isn't being transformed by your presence. Love like yours doesn't disappear. It lingers. It mends. It awakens something deep and ancient within him, a part of his soul that had long forgotten how to trust, how to open up, how to believe in something greater than fear. So do not doubt the power of your love, even if it feels unseen. Even if it goes unspoken. Especially then. Because the most profound healings often happen in silence, under the veil of what the world calls ordinary. Yours is a love that changes destinies, not just his, but yours as well. There is a thread weaving through every moment, seen and unseen, guiding both of you towards something neither of you fully understands yet. You may not see the pattern now, but it exists. A divine blueprint unfolding in ways only the heavens can orchestrate. And though your heart aches with questions, trust this, you are not walking blind. You are walking sacred ground. The angels say, even when you feel lost, you are being guided. Every pause, every detour, every silence between your souls is part of a larger plan, one that is not yours to control, but only to surrender to. You were never meant to force love into a mold. You are meant to open your hands and let it breathe in its own time. You wonder why it doesn't move faster. Why he doesn't stay. Why everything feels suspended in the air like an unfinished prayer. But the timing is not yours to rush. It belongs to something far greater, a rhythm written long before either of you arrived at this crossroads. And while your mind races with possibilities, your soul already knows, this is not random. This is purposeful. Sometimes, love must pass through shadow before it finds light. Sometimes, hearts must break just enough to make space for something truer. And sometimes, the only way forward is through the very thing we fear most, surrender. So stop trying to figure it all out. Let the angels hold what you cannot. Let God carry what you've been gripping too tightly. Your job is not to control the path, only to walk it with faith, even when your feet tremble. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. This is your promise. Not a guarantee of how things will unfold, but a knowledge that they are unfolding exactly as they should. He wants to love you, truly, deeply, without hiding. But every time he tries to step closer, something inside him holds back. Not because he doesn't care, but because he's afraid of what it means to let someone in completely. You see, vulnerability is not weakness. It is the rawest form of courage. And right now he stands at the edge of it, trembling, uncertain, caught between his heart's longing and the walls that still whisper old fears. The angels say, behind every hesitation is a man who has been hurt before, who has loved, lost, and carried the weight of disappointment like armor ever since. He doesn't run from you, he runs from the moment he might have to face his own truth, that he wants this, that he needs this, that he is willing to risk everything to keep you near. You've seen glimpses of it, the way his voice softens when he speaks your name, how his eyes hold yours just a second longer than usual, the silence between his words filled with all the things he can't quite say yet. These are not accidents. They are invitations. Small cracks forming in the fortress he built around his heart, letting in the light you carry. But healing doesn't happen all at once. It unfolds in layers. And right now, he is peeling one, slowly, painfully, beautifully. He is learning that love does not always mean loss. That opening up does not always lead to breaking. That you, in all your quiet strength, are not here to destroy him, but to remind him how to feel again. So do not mistake his fear for indifference. Do not take his silence as rejection. He is standing at the door of his own soul, hand on the handle, unsure if he's ready to walk through. And when he finally does, he will find you waiting, not with judgment, but with the kind of love that heals simply by being real. You are no longer chasing answers. No longer begging for proof that he feels what you feel. Something inside you has shifted, not because he finally stayed, but because you chose to release the need for guarantees. And in that surrender, you found peace. Not the kind that comes from control, but the kind that rises when you stop fighting what is. The angels say, this is your victory. Not because he came back or because he changed, but because you stood in your truth and allowed love to unfold without force. You stopped trying to bend time, twist energy, or mold his heart into something it wasn't ready to be. Instead, you breathed. You stepped back. You trusted. And from that space, clarity arrived. You no longer measure love by how loudly it speaks or how often it shows up. You understand now that real connection doesn't beg for attention. It arrives with quiet strength. It lingers in spaces where silence feels sacred. It finds its way when both souls are ready, not a moment sooner, not a moment later. If he returns, he will come as someone new. Not because you fixed him, but because you reflected a version of himself worth becoming. And if he does not return, you will still be whole. Because you have touched something deeper than romance. You have touched your own soul. And nothing, not even lost love, can dim that light forever. So let go with grace. Let go with faith. Let go knowing that the right love always finds you, not through manipulation, not through effort, but through divine alignment. Because what is meant for you will never miss you. And what passes you by was only ever meant to guide you toward yourself.